Welcome everyone in live to the virtual Talladega Superspeeway. It's a Tuesday night, and that means it's high gear racing from the high banks here at Talladega in the next gen car here tonight. You see the flyer there on the side of your screen, a $20 race entry here tonight and $100 going to first place. Drivers have qualified. They are now on the grid as they are ready to go here from Talladega as Cody Neagles sits on your pole as he is looking to go to victory lane here tonight. We'll get your full grid here momentarily as Dawson Wise will sit to Cody Neagles outside here on the front row here tonight. Here in row number 2, it will be Richard Elliott starting in third with Chase Mastretta tonight rolling off in the 4th position. And on row number 3, starting in 5th, it'll be Steve Sizemore here tonight. And starting to his outside, starting in 6th, will be Gordon Spain. Starting in P7th, rolling off on row number 4, the man out of Punta Gorda, Florida, it's Jeff Merck. And to his outside, the boss man here, James Waring. Starting on row number 5, Bad Fast Talladega Pros, John Ward starts in 9th. And to his outside, the number 7 of Danny Barnes starting in 10th. Rolling off on row number 6, starting 11th tonight will be Christopher Carter. To his outside, it'll be Dustin Cohen. Starting in P13 tonight, it'll be Dylan Jones. And to his outside, his teammate, the number 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. Starting row number 8 in 15th position here tonight, it'll be Joshua McCullough. And to his outside, starting in 16th, that'll be Sean Corbett. Rolling off P17 tonight, Colby Nill. And to his outside, teammate, Kenneth McCullough Jr. Rolling off on row number 10, starting P19th, Michael Barksdale. To his outside, starting in 20th, the 59 of Mark Vondell. Starting on row number 11th, P21, Freddie Bazinez. And to his outside, starting 22nd, Justin Melikar. And that is your 22-car field here tonight as we get set to go green flag racing here at Talladega. Apologies here, trying to find a remote to turn down my speakers, but you know, those young kids of mine always making a mess here, probably unfortunately stealing my remote, so I'll have to turn that down in just a second. But for now, we're going to go all the way down here and get ready to go live here at Talladega Superspeedway as Cody Neagles in the 6th will lead Dawson Wise to his outside. Great to see him out here on the track. To the green flag here tonight as the pace car dives off onto pit lane for the very first time tonight. We'll bring up that ticker for 50 laps of action as these drivers in the trial for the first time tonight. The green flag in the air. We are racing here live at Talladega. Lap number 1 in the books, and a yellow flag is coming out And we will have a caution here tonight on lap number 1. And Cody Niegels involved in this one. You have some left damage right there to the red line Chevrolet Camaro. And not a great start here for some of these drivers tonight. We'll take you back here to the cause of caution in just a second, but Cody Niegels involved. And it looks like James Waring as well as John Ward involved in this one too. And on lap number 1, we get our first yellow flag of the night as the field comes to a halt here behind the pace car. And we'll go back here and take a peek and see what happens here to start this first caution flag here of the night. We're going to keep an eye here in the middle of the racetrack. Chase Mastretta is right behind Cody Niegels here in the middle lane. We are 3 wide. You see Dawson Wise at the top of your screen with the 38 of Gordon Spain. As we get in the Goodyear blimp, it looks like the 8 car going to come up the racetrack. That's Steve Sizemore and getting to the 6 of Cody Niegels, which brings out our first caution flag here of the night. As Waring goes for a spin, Jeff Merck involved, as is John Ward. Sean Corbett with the accordion effect here. We'll go back one more time. As Cody Niegels turned. Waring, you see involved. He's going to spin here underneath the apron into the grass. You see the roof flaps come up on the number 13. Doesn't look like too much damage for anyone. As Dawson Wise, Chase Mastretta drive through it, as does Richard Elliott. That'll be your new leader. So not too much damage here for the first caution flag of the night. As Cody Niegels on pit lane early. So one of the favorites here tonight on pit lane, getting service and fixing up that car. As he looks to get back on the track, we'll go back up front. Richard Elliott leads it. And we're going to step aside for just 1 second. Make sure we have all of our cameras set up right here for night. So stand by. We'll be right here, right back here live on the PGR eSports Network. Well, we should be good to go here now. Just some technical difficulties here to start tonight. Jumped back in here last minute tonight to call this race. And still tired from the past week, the PGR 500. Took a lot out of me, so just kind of jumping back into things here tonight. As a caution flag here on lap number 1 tonight. We're going to re-rack them right here. With Richard Elliott now your leader. Chase Mastretta will start here on the outside front row. We saw trouble, though, with Cody Niegels, who is still on pit lane. So a lot more damage than we thought for the number 6 of Cody Niegels. As Justin Melikar as well. You see Jeff Merck coming off pit lane. So Daniel Eberhardt in there taking service. So a lot of damage, more damage than we thought anticipated here on the first caution flag, as Niegels still sits on pit lane. As the field now heads down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. We'll see if we can get some green flag racing in here. Jimmy Crow up in the tower tonight with James Waring. Want to thank those guys for having PGR eSports come on board here for your high gear racing. And remember, no pros allowed in this series. No toxicity allowed. So these guys keep a tight ship over here. They are wonderful people to work with, and I'm looking forward here tonight to finding out who will go to victory lane. I think it's a wide open field here tonight, especially if that 6 car is going to be off the track as he is still in pit lane. So Cody Nagels with a ton more damage than we thought. He might be well out of this race before it really even begins tonight. But the pace car will head off on the pit lane once more. As Chase Mastretta and Danny Barnes, Richard Elliott up here will take the green flag. And the restart is on here. We have about 8 or 9 cars here in the outside lane. We had some other cars come down, like I said, to take more service. So that's why you see a longer lane here in the bottom of the racetrack. One down to the apron there. That's Colby Nill. As Colby Nill now off pace. He has nowhere to get in. He's going to cycle all the way back to the end of this field. Right now, 21 drivers here in the main pack. One driver, Cody Nagels, off pace and on pit lane right now. 3 wide, actually almost 4 wide here with Waring. And they're going to separate really quick on that one. As Waring to the back bumper now of Josh McCullough. Kenny McCullough back here as well. So you see some McCullough Motorsports drivers going to hook up here in the rear of the field. As back up front now, Sean Corbett's going to lead that outside lane. To the front he goes, 45, new leader. As we do have one off, that's Richard Elliott. He's through the grass. Is he going to come back up on the racing surface? He does. Green flag stays out. Richard Elliott now off pace. So Richard Elliott led at that restart, and now he has fallen back to the 21st position, 18 spots down from where he started tonight. He'll have to scratch and claw his way back 10 seconds now to this front pack that consists of 20 drivers all the way back to Colby Nill. John Ward now, he'll move to the bottom lane as he tries to bring along Jeff Merck, Danny Barnes, and Dawson Wise. And this could be a PGR SummerSlam 499 preview. As if you saw this week in the community poll, this next-gen car had a landslide vote win to be ran in this year's SummerSlam. That's right. Oh, we have a big wreck. Jeff Merck in the wall. Sean Corbett as well. They're going to almost collect the 0-0 here of, I believe that is Michael Barksdale. But another hard hit, another caution, and surprising here with the smaller field tonight, 2 cautions in just 8 laps. And Jeff Merck, part of this one, as is Sean Corbett, who was leading not too long ago, and the 60 is going to come back around for NBG Motorsports, and he's got some rear damage. You see some left quarter panel damage as well for the 60 of Jeff Merck. So we'll go back here and try to figure out what started here, the second caution of the night. You see Jeff Merck there. He's in front of Dawson Wise. Sean Corbett in the 3rd lane. And I believe Corbett's kind of stuck. He is Yes, Corbett's washing down the track as your leader in that outside lane. He's going to get down into Merck, and that's going to turn Merck back up into Corbett himself here. They're going to spin right in front of Gordon Spain. He takes a little front end damage. Here comes Barksdale, but he does a great job. Now he's going to hit the outside wall, but for the most part, Barksdale stays as clean as he possibly can. And just an air there for the 45 machine of Sean Corbett. And we'll go back again here, get another vantage point. And Corbett was clear to come down here. The problem is he hesitates. We've seen this by a lot of drivers, especially in the PGR 500 last week, as Corbett still making his decision. He comes down now. It's too late. He sends the 60 down into the 90 of Eberhardt. And then Dawson Wise has nowhere to go. He tries to check up, gets into the back of Merck. Dawson Wise actually punches a nice-sized dent in the front of his number 9 Monster Energy Chevrolet here tonight. And like I said, that sends Sean Corbett and Jeff Merck here careening up and into the wall to bring out your second caution flag. It's Jeff Merck now. You see him on pit lane taking service, as well as Sean Corbett. As Sean Corbett tonight out of Wilmington, North Carolina, leading early, but now he is on pit lane for service. You see fighting the wheel a little bit right there, making sure that wheel is going to be okay. So some wheel damage here for the 45. Gordon Spain getting back on track. He, like we said, collected a little bit of that wreck out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Chase Mistretta came down for service as well as he blends back into the field. And right now, your leader out front, it's Freddie Bazinez out of Miami, Florida. And if you're just joining us here tonight, or watching tonight for that matter, a big night for PGR eSports as Daniel Falkingham, the winner of the top split of the Road to Pro. Caden Diedrich, a 5th place finish. And if you're a fan of PGR and a fan of the money racing community, the 2026 PGR 500 champion just a few days ago, Wyatt Gray, goes to victory lane in the second split. So it's a sweep for the past 2 PGR 500 champions atop the board in the top split and second split on the Road to Pro at Daytona. And those guys made the money racing community proud here tonight. So the pace car lights are out. We'll go green again this time by Freddie Bazinez leads Colby Nill, Chris Carter, Michael Barksdale, and Mark Vondell now in your top 5. 2 yellow flags here in the first 10 laps of tonight's race. 40 more laps to go tonight. We are here in the next-gen car. We showed you earlier the flyer. We'll bring that up one more time here. If you're just joining us, going 50 laps here tonight. And they have just 38% fuel. That's what it says, at least on the flyer. No fast repairs. 3 green-white checkers if they need them in a custom Jimmy Crow set. And from what I heard, this is a pretty racy set. A lot of the drivers very fond of racing this one. Have some enjoyment racing this over the iRacing set. So we'll see, though. These drivers can now corral these next-gen cars and put on a show for the viewers here tonight. No scrolling ticker here on the bottom of your screen. We'll get that updated for future events this coming week. But as always, appreciate iRacing, the service that we all love to run on. for bringing us these races each and every night. As the pace car back to pit lane. This will be the third restart here of this young race. The two into the restart zone. That is Freddie Bazinez as he takes the green flag. Just 4 cars here on the outside. Everyone else down for service a couple times. Getting that extra fuel and that Sunoco Racing fuel packed into the fuel cells. As Bazinez goes all the way up to the top of the racetrack here. And he will let this pack go right on by. And we have a new leader. It's Chris Carter. So Carter now to the lead, or sorry, Colby Nill to the lead here in the outside lane. As Barksdale looks high. Down to the bottom of the racetrack is Nill. Richard Elliott now back up to the front. Behind Colby Nill, Barksdale in the 00 on top. 2 by 2 through the field in the tri-oval. Dawson Wise is going to throw it 3 wide in the number 9 Camaro. Here comes Chase Mastretta. Those two have worked together in the past, so you'd expect them to work really well here in that third lane. They're going to get another taker. That's Justin Melikar of Midnight now. So a 3-car tandem here on the top. In the middle, it's Nill and Barksdale still as Richard Elliott has now surged to the lead. Christopher Carter, Mark Fondell right behind, as is Danny Barnes. That bottom lane prevailing here at the moment as these 3 up top still try to work their way up to the front. Nill now trapped in the middle with no help. He's going to look to get to the bottom or to the top lane. But he's going to get picked up by the 90 of Eberhardt. Good to see some drivers up here like Mark Vondel. Now up to the 3rd position, and the Napa number 59 is Wise now to the middle lane as that group is still trying to reel in these leaders. Nill still hooked up with Eberhard. As Nill looks to the outside again, D3 looks to go with him. They're going to make a 3rd lane. And off turn number 2, it's all the bottom lane still, as Richard Elliott, with a great push from Carter, just keeps that bottom lane moving. Dylan Jones, not to be confused the paint scheme with a Tucker McClendon paint scheme with orange and white, but Dylan Jones in the field here tonight carrying the Still Ford Mustang. As he's up now to the 5th position, his teammate not too much farther back now in the outside lane of Eberhardt. As you know, we'll see those two link up at some point this race. Mastretta gets down to the bottom. That leaves Dawson Wise having to get down as well. With 38% fuel tonight, expect some green flag stops. As these drivers now all single file, with the exception of Barksdale now caught in that outside lane. Cody Nagels out of tonight's race. And 22nd here tonight, just too much damage to overcome from the first caution flag, which came on lap number 1. We had a second one not too much later than that, and we've been green ever since. So, 21 cars now in it. We have 2 off the pace. That's going to be Steve Sizemore back in 20th, and Jeff Merck back in 21st. So in this main pack, Dustin Cohen is the caboose in the 19th position at this time. So we have 19 cars, and they're all going to be headed to pit lane here shortly. On board here with Mistretta once again behind Wise as they wrap around this yellow on the bottom of the racetrack. Drivers ready to come to pit lane. And here at Talladega, 55 miles an hour is your pace or pit road speed. So you've got to get down to that to avoid a penalty here tonight. Chris Carter now leads Von Dell. Richard Elliott is going backwards at the moment. Gets out of line. He's going to get back in line now as the parade of cars continue. See the lap, or they're going to put Jeff Merck in the 60 a lap down. So Jeff Merck will be now the first car a lap down, as he'll be the lucky dog recipient if we do get a yellow flag. Now he'll have to eventually contend with Steve Sizemore if this field does get to Sizemore. The good thing for Merck, he is going to try to remain up and in this draft. And he's got nothing to lose here. He might even want to lead this pack in case a caution does fly. And he'll get that lap back the old-fashioned way as he gets a shove here on the outside line from Daniel Eberhardt. And Eberhardt took a chance there. He made up a lot of delta here on your leader, Carter, to get to the front of this pack. So he took a chance going to that outside by himself, but it helped that Jeff Merck was there. So now Eberhardt leads this pack here, and he'll be pitting from that first position possibly here shortly. John Ward in the lead. Didn't see John Ward on my screen. I wonder if he was blinking out for just a second, but John Ward in the 92 leads it. But nonetheless, Eberhardt, a great run to get up front before this round of pit stops. You are watching High Gear Racing, sponsored by JW Paints, here on a Tuesday night on the PGR eSports Network. And right now, John Ward leads Eberhardt and Carter 20 of 50 in tonight, as drivers gearing up for a big green flag stop as we await their arrival here to pit lane any lap now. Said 38% fuel on the Flyer tonight, so you'd expect them down here shortly. And in the back now, it's picking up just a little bit, as you see Barksdale to the outside. So we do have a couple cars here trying to make their way to the front here before this round of pit stops. Bazinez and Waring on the move. Gordon Spain's going to block that run here on the outside as he looks to cycle back up to the front. But it's all John Ward at the moment. But Spain getting a great shove from the 13 of Waring. They're going to have help as well in the 2 of Bazinez. So we're back to 2 wide. 6 cars here in that outside lane. As Bazinez now slips in line right behind Carter and in front of Mark Von Dell. And these two made a great run to the front. Waring pushes Spain all the way to the lead here, as a new leader has emerged, the 38 Gordon Spain and the Eagle 1 Chevrolet. A big shout out to Gordon Spain for his sponsorship in the PGR 500. And we always appreciate his contributions to helping put on the biggest event of the year. And these two really breaking out here at the front of the pack. Talladega Pro owner John Ward rolling off turn number 2 as he fights on the back bumper here of Waring. A good run for him as well, the PGR 500. A little mistake hiccup, and he got collected in a wreck late. And John Ward had a good shot at victory lane on Sunday night. It wasn't meant to be, but a great run for Ward. Kenny McCullough riding around here about mid-pack tonight in the 03 behind Corbett. Corbett's trying to rally back from an incident earlier this race. As the field comes to the start-finish line here. We'll take on lap number 25 now, halfway through tonight's event. You see Sizemore in the picture there, and we talked about that earlier. Sizemore now will go a lap down. The biggest issue for him, the entire field here on the bottom of the racetrack. As Jeff Merck, a lap down car at the moment. He is back here, but he's also actually now fallen off. He's going to slide in here in front of the 20. And we'll see how this all works as they come up to Sizemore, because it's going to be between Sizemore and Merck who gets that lucky dog if we are to get a caution. So Sizemore is going to do everything he can to try to remain in front of Jeff Merck here as this field starts to reel in Steve Sizemore. As Spain comes off turn number 4. Everyone right now riding around and giving one another plenty of distance in between each car. As now we're thinking a little bit of the fuel mileage race here and making sure these guys get in their window and get that pit stop. So not quite sure if the flyer was right here tonight. It did say 38%. So it's either they're going to have to come in soon or there was something wrong there, because 38% tells me they'd have to be pitting by now. Right around this time, we shall see, but we do have one car to the outside. That's Colby Nill. And he's trying to pull an Eberhardt from earlier, and that's trying to cycle his way here to the front and trying to find a spot in line before the stops here tonight. But right now, no one letting the 31 of Nil in line, so he's going to cycle right back to the back once again. Well, look at this, though. Gordon Spain, your leader, picks up Steve Sizemore. So that's going to keep Jeff Merck the only car a lap down. So Sizemore is actually on the lead lap as the 20th place car at the moment. Jeff Merck doesn't mind that as he's the only car a lap down. So Merck still in a good spot if the yellow comes out, as is Sizemore, who will stay on the lead lap with your leaders. As now Merck will work that middle lane here a little bit farther back with the 05 of Josh McCullough. He'll use Merck to get to the front. Nil stays there in the middle lane as well. He'll try to work back up to McCullough. So Merck's going to try to give himself some insurance here. He wants to see where that Sizemore is. Make sure he's in striking distance in case Sizemore loses that lead. So a smart move here for the 60 to try to get back up front. We have a little bit of a gap here now between Chris Carter, John Ward and Daniel Eberhardt. I believe Eberhardt still has draft here up into John Ward, but they might want to make sure they get on a little bit more and don't lose that draft. As you see Eberhardt here down the backstretch. Upwards of 190 miles an hour into turn number 3. It's going to hit 193 briefly. As Eberhardt parades that second grouping. As now Spain, your leader is the 38. Waring as well as John Ward, they are putting the pedal to the floor right now. So we'll have to see if there's going to be any consequences to that, if it possibly does become a fuel mileage race or not. This second group definitely off the pace a little bit here, as now they are too wide. Dylan Jones now to the middle lane. He'll get picked up by the 05 and the 03 of McCullough. That's Kenny and Josh. Back to Nil. As action picking up now. 20 laps to go here at Talladega. Eberhardt to the top. Blocks the run of Jones. That's his teammate. Now they're linked up as we said they would get linked up earlier. Here they go. Jones to the outside. Eberhardt stays in the middle. There goes McCullough. And that splits Eberhardt. Eberhardt now in the middle all by himself. Not sure why that happened there with Jones and Eberhardt. But D3 now going to the back. And the 0-1-1 making moves here on the outside. Josh McCullough's push. As Dylan Jones now surges as they look to try to latch back on to the 92 of John Ward. They're going to clear it out to the bottom, as is Eberhardt. The 25 actually briefly nearly, that's Chris Carter, comes together with Richard Elliott. Luckily, they're able to keep it going there, nearly get into one another. Eberhardt looks up to the outside of Kenny McCullough. Now he's got draft off his teammate Dylan Jones. Daniel Eberhardt, a big surge on the outside. Two by two now. Down the back stretch. There goes Sizemore to the top. He's going to think better to stay on the bottom. Dylan Jones leads the outside lane. Jeff Merck now has to be thinking, what do I have to do? Because now Sizemore under pressure here to be put a lap down. And that would put Jeff Merck, who's at the tail end of this pack, the second car a lap down. But right now, so far so good for Merck as Sizemore stays out front here on the bottom. The bottom lane's been preferred throughout this evening. Carter washes down just a little bit. So far, action's finally starting to pick up. We had a couple cautions there early. Now these drivers on a long green flag run, but you can see they're starting to get the itch to race again as the laps start counting down. 17 laps to go. Off turn number 4, we stay too wide through the tri-oval once again. Wearing up to third in line on the bottom. He still works in the back bumper of Spain. And Austin Wise still hovering here in the top 10. Back to 8th at the moment as he bides his time. You'd have to expect him and Chase Mastretta will eventually make a move together, as those two fully capable of going to victory lane here tonight. Don't forget, coming back soon as well here on Tuesday nights will be Ron Morris, who will make his triumphant return to iRacing. He has been off for quite a long time, but Tuesday Night Thunder will be back in March. And hopefully here live on the PGR eSports network as well. I do believe High Gear Racing will move to an earlier time slot that night, possibly a different night, we'll see. So we'll try to continue to work on that as well. But the big return, Ron Morris, the guy that got me into the promotional side of things, and can't say enough about Ron Morris and all he's done for myself and helping myself launch PGR into what it is today. And we look forward to seeing Ron back on Tuesday nights in his time slot. These guys over here at HGR have been holding it down since and bringing a great race here tonight. Chase Mastretta blinking in and out there on the top screen behind Wise and in front of Melicar at the moment. So Melicar probably a little bit uneasy in his race car at the moment, but Mastretta's going to pop back in here. So hopefully Chase Mastretta's got his connection issues solved. Dustin Melicar with the Midnight Racing Machine. And the all-purple there. Catch their races at midnight on Friday nights, or 12 a.m. The Midnight Racing League. Also another league broadcast here on PGR eSports by Jim Bob. And all Gordon Spain here late. And wearing as well up front. Dylan Jones is going to slot in here. Third, well, it looks like fourth line, but he's going to be third on the racetrack in this race. That's Dylan Jones. Keep in mind Steve Sizemore. Nearly a lap down. He's hanging on to the lead lap with that spot in front of Spain. Jeff Merck, the first car, a lap down. And now we really single out once again through the bottom here. 3 cars here into the middle. That's Corbett farther back. He led early. Got caught up in an accident. Now here comes Cohen as well as Bazinas. So 3 cars to the outside as they look to make up some ground here on your leaders. lane 2 by 2. 11 laps to go. We're going to have now 10 laps to go here at the line. 2 yellow flags. That's been it. Those came in the first 10 laps. Now here in the last 10, let's see how racy these drivers get. Keep in mind, the flyer must have been wrong. There's no way these cars have 38% fuel here tonight. So apologies on that one. Just what I read when we showed that race flyer earlier. So hence, I'm not sure. I think these drivers really riding single file just to log some laps earlier. Didn't want to get caught up in another one, as Jeff Merck and Cody Nagels did earlier. As now that outside lane starting to move, led by Dylan Jones and Daniel Eberhardt. They're going to bring up Corbett Bazinez as now Mistretta. Dawson Wise, he's going to hop up there behind Mistretta. So here comes the middle lane. Sizemore still stays in front of the leader, Spain, but it's not going to be for long. Here comes Bazinez and Chase. I'll tell you what, though, Mistretta better get his connection issues figured out. He is in and out. Dawson Wise all over the back bumper of the 8. Here comes Jones. Dylan Jones inches ahead here at the front. Your new leader, but Gordon Spain, he's going to have to eventually push that 8 up and out of his way, because right now he needs to worry about himself and not the 8 car, who is fighting to stay on the lead lap, because Gordon Spain wants to win this race, and he's not going to be able to do so if he cannot block a run from that top lane here in the closing laps. So 2 by 2 we stay. Waring pushing now on the back bumper of Spain. But as I alluded to, nowhere for Spain to go. Yes, he's your leader by an inch over Dylan Jones here, but until the 8 of Sizemore gets out of his way, he is not going to be able to control the lanes as he'd like to. The only way he'll be able to do that is if he clears Jones, which he was for a second. Problem with that is I could see D3 and Dylan Jones splitting and taking it 3 wide if that move's made. But it might not matter. Here comes Chase Mistretta, Dawson Wise, Freddie Bazinez. Third lanes move into the front as Mistretta in and out once again, as that could be what's holding them up. But here they go, a big surge down the backstretch. Chase Mistretta out again, back in. So Dawson Wise putting all his trust here in the connection of Mistretta. D3 to the middle. What will Mistretta do? D3 all the way to the bottom. Here comes Corbett up the middle. Are they going to be able to hold this together? No, they're not. Wrecking there in the middle. As Sizemore gets turned. And remember, he was on the lead lap, but I do believe as long as Jeff Merck didn't touch anything, Jeff Merck should get the lucky dog here. It's going to be close on that front. 6 laps to go. We'll figure out who's going to be your leader here in a second, but a lot going on here, as it looks like Eberhardt pacing the field down the backstretch. So let's go back here and figure out what caused this yellow flag to come out. And it looks like Sizemore is going to come up and wash up the racetrack and into Corbett. And there goes Dylan Jones. He's going to go underneath the apron here, or onto the apron. Ooh, and then Spain turns Sizemore up the track. Nips Kenny McCullough, gets into Mark Vondell. McCullough spins. Vondell involved. They're checking up some more. As Cohen gets into the back of Waring. As the 8, the North Star, number 8, that is of Sizemore, reels it in, but we'll go back here again and look above the high above the Goodyear blimp as you see Sizemore working on Dylan Jones. Freddie now, look at Freddie's move to the inside of Wise. But yeah, Sizemore washes. Actually, Sizemore washes up. Corbett's coming down a little. They get into one another. That's going to turn Dylan Jones there. And then that's when Spain, trying to check up, can't. Gets up and into Sizemore. And let's see if Kenny... Nope, Kenny's not going to clip Dylan Jones, but he is going to definitely be a part of this one. As he... I think, yeah, he's going to go on pit lane. So that's going to be a penalty, EOL penalty to Kenny McCullough. So he'll go to the back of the pack here. As back up front, Daniel Eberhardt leads Mistretta, Bazinez, Wise, Melikar. That's your top 5. With 5 to go, we are still pacing here. Chris Carter sitting on the racetrack now. Back in the 16th position. Not sure what's wrong with Carter. Let's see if we can get a replay here of possibly what happened to Chris Carter. I think he... Not sure if he spun or if he just came to a complete stop. So, Chris Carter looks like he just comes to a stop here. Maybe he had to get out of the car for a second, but he's still sitting there here under caution. Cohen involved in that one as well in the number 20 Home Depot Chevrolet. So he gets back onto the racetrack. Michael Barksdale back to pit lane in the big red Chevrolet, the 00. He's in his stall. As he'll have to actually hit in reverse as he slid through his box. So he's taking service. Back over here, Kenny McCullough, I believe, will go to the end of the lead pack here for the restart. Back up front, it is Mistretta and Eberhardt who'll take the restart with 4 to go here. As Mistretta's still having some connection issues. Well, 3 caution flags here tonight in a 50-lap race. Not too bad. But can these drivers get to the white flag will be the question. We'll have 3 laps to go to decide it. If we do not have a green-white checker here tonight, we'll see if we can get this one to the checkered flag. I'd like to see these drivers in a 3-lap shootout tonight. We'll beat a 2-lap shootout any day of the week. And right now, I'll tell you what, a lot of hungry drivers up front, and that 9 of Dawson Wise has to be one of them. Coming off a long week of broadcasting the PGR 500. That is one man who would like to get to victory lane tonight. He's got a great pusher behind him in McCullough. So we'll see how this all shapes out tonight as the pace car gets ready to split on off to pit lane once again. And now it's money time here at Talladega. Who will roll the dice and head to that 3rd lane? And who will make the right move to win tonight's race? Eberhardt, your leader on the outside. He'll control this restart. Green flag back in the air. Eberhardt looking to block the run of Mistretta. He can. He stays down. Bazinez to the back bumper of the 90. Mistretta in the middle. Melikar pushing Dawson Wise up the track. He's now going to bully Colby Nil all the way to the bottom. They're jockeying here in the middle of the pack. That's wearing the back bumper of Spain. Spain. Blinking out still is Mistretta up front. Not sure how he's even staying in this race the way he's blinking out. And now Eberhardt all the way to the top with Bazinez off turn number 4. That top lane surging at the moment. It's Melikar now to the middle. That leaves Nil by himself on the bottom. He's going to get picked up by Cohen. 2 laps to go. Eberhardt in the driver's seat with Bazinez, but here comes the middle lane. It surges with a strong push from Corbett to Melikar. They're going to get all the way up. Daniel Eberhardt's going to block the run. 3 wide farther back. Mistretta out of the outside. Eberhardt right now controlling the lanes to the best of ability. 4 wide in turn 3. Melikar by himself. Chase Mistretta all the way to the outside, still blinking in front of Richard Elliott. Melikar is going to get in. Will they make it to the white flag is the question. 3 abreast throughout the field to the white flag. Eberhardt throws a block to the top of Wise. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Daniel Eberhardt throwing every possible block imaginable. They're wrecking farther back. It's Mistretta. Into the walls, Kenny McCullough. There goes Waring. There goes Elliott. Back up front, it's all Eberhardt. Kenny hold off Josh McCullough. Here comes Colby Nil. Corbett on the bottom. Into 3, Josh McCullough gets shoved by Nil. They're pushing 3 deep. Melikar goes to the outside. Dawson Wise trying to make his way back to the front. Off turn number 4, Eberhardt the 90. Can he hold him off? Here comes a strong run from Nil. He blocks it. McCullough has the advantage in the outside. Melikar puts him 3 wide. Daniel Eberhardt wins it at Talladega. What a finish here in the High Gear Racing Series as Daniel Eberhardt goes to victory lane. But I'll tell you what, Colby Nil put up a great fight tonight as he finished in 2nd, and Justin Melikar 3rd place, as that is your podium. Sean Corbett in 4th, and Dawson Wise your top 5. But what a battle and what a race here for the 90 of Eberhardt, as he showed a lot of talent there in the last couple laps to hold off the field. He had to hold off the bottom, middle, and the top. And a hard-charging Colby Nil tonight as the 90 celebrates in the grass here at Talladega Superspeedway. Daniel Eberhardt, your winner. We'll see if we can get a word with your top 3 here shortly. No one over here just yet. But what a race here tonight. As your podium stands right there, Daniel Eberhardt 1st, Colby Nil 2nd, Justin Melikar tonight in 3rd. And what a show these drivers put on. Only 3 cautions in the 50-lap race tonight. 2 of them coming in the first 8 laps. Still waiting. Driver interviews here tonight. Not sure if we'll have anyone come up here. We'll give it a little bit of time as your podium finishers up there on the screen. We'll go over the final race results as well momentarily. But what a race here tonight to the checkered flag. As you saw pandemonium here on the backstretch. Multiple car accident. And you got to see a clinic by Daniel Eberhardt, as he was able to hold off this field and a lot of hard chargers here at the end. And Melikar did a great job as well. You see Nil here, third in line at the bottom. As we do have one of our podium finishers over here. It's third place here tonight, Justin Melikar for Midnight Racing League. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
All right, man. It's going good. I'll tell you what, it started off a little rough here tonight with the 2 caution flags in the first 8 laps. But since then, guys got it together. Only 1 caution the rest of the way in a frantic last 3 laps. And walk us through that, man. You were slicing and dicing, using every lane to try to get there to the front. And in the end, I know it's not what you ultimately wanted, but a third place finish nonetheless here tonight.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. We were pretty much saving fuel up to that last caution there, so it was pretty chill, relaxed for a while. And then I'm not gonna lie, like half of the people we were working with thought, like me and Chase, we all thought it was the checkered on the white flag. We thought it was a green white checkered for some reason, and it almost screwed us. Luckily, it didn't. Corbett got to my inside, and I literally thought the race was over, and somehow, it was the white flag, and I was able to get back up there. So pretty, I'm okay with it, considering how dumb that move was at the time. So yeah.
Well, you put that 84 here on the podium tonight. I know it wasn't, the biggest field, but hey, it was a lot of really good drivers here in tonight's field. Obviously, Daniel Eberhardt, your race winner, being one of them. And, it was a long week last week with the PGR 500, but over here in Talladega, continuing the next-gen car. And how'd this setup feel tonight? I know this is a Jimmy Crow setup here at Talladega, and it seems like a lot of these drivers enjoy racing it.
Yeah, I personally like it. I think it reminds me a lot of the old next gen package, where it's very much like you get the huge crazy runs. I'm not sure if they've updated the Chevy body yet. I know there was some issues with it, so I could see that kind of being an issue just because you get such a huge run. I didn't really deal with that, but yeah, I personally enjoyed it. I think that it definitely provides more entertaining racing than just the normal fix setup for sure.
Well, Justin, a great showing here tonight, a third place finish, a good cash night for you as well. Before we let you go and celebrate that podium finish, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Jack Shack, Chase for working with us. He was blinking out there. It was pretty rough, but yeah. Shout out to you for putting on the broadcast, Eternal Racing, and everyone that shows up and watches every single day.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us up here in the booth. Go have a cold one and enjoy tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Justin Melikar, everyone, your third place finisher. But I'll tell you what, a guy happy tonight. It's the young man, and he is the 31 for, I believe, McCall Motorsports. Hey, all these guys changing teams all the time. Can't keep up, but nonetheless, Colby Nil, you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I'll tell you what, it was an up and down night for you, and you were trying to make your way from the back to the front numerous times. Looked like you wanted to get aggressive and make your way up to the front earlier. You found yourself there when it mattered most, and I'll tell you what, you put on one heck of a hard charge there in the last couple of laps, nearly getting the victory tonight. How does it feel here tonight to get a second place victory, and not only that, a good cash night?
Oh, man, this setup, I don't know what it is, but, man, it's amazing, dude. I mean, I was struggling there at the start, but I wanted to charge up to the front, but, man, I was getting, like, too greedy right there, and then I had to save a lot of fuel. We were all, like, really short on fuel, and, man, we just had to – it's a fun charge.
Well, it looked like a fun charge here tonight. We're going to go back here and watch you kind of slice and dice your way here in this last lap as we see you taking the checkered flag, but – on the backstretch there, it looked like you were right behind Josh McCullough. You looked like to go high, stayed down low. Melikar came to your aid. He comes to your outside now as you guys come off turn number 4 as we watch it back. Corbett dives to your inside, and you dive down, take the run. Looks like it could have been the race-winning move. Just didn't look like they got to you quick enough. D3 was able to clear on down. It did not look like there was too much that you were able to do there other than ride there for second place. So obviously it is really as good as you could do here tonight. And especially with a good field here tonight, it's got to feel good to get a podium finish and nearly come close to winning. But man, it's got to be cool for you as well as a young man to race some of these guys like Daniel Eberhardt, Kenny McCullough. Some of these guys have been doing this for years on the sim here in the super speedways. Tell us a little bit about that, just being able to race some of the best.
Yeah, feels good. I have one of the best on my team. Well, I'm on his team, but yeah, it feels cool beating him. You know, I barely ever cashed. Yeah, feels amazing.
Well, Colby, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to shout out you for broadcasting. I want to shout out McCullough Motorsports for letting me run with them. And yeah, shout out D3 there for putting up on a battle with me.
All right, well, you heard it right there. Your second place finisher here tonight, the young man, his name Colby Nill, and a great showing for him. And we'll see if that could springboard him into some bigger race wins, possibly down the road, and some more podiums, that's for sure. But the guy that got the race win here tonight, he is no stranger to the top of the scoring pylon here at Talladega. It's the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. D3, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, man. Well, wow, what a race here. I know it started off a little chaotic with 2 cautions there in the first 8 laps, but it settled down. You guys went kind of really just ticked off a lot of the laps the old-fashioned way, riding around single file. But when it came down to it here in the last 10 laps, 90 made his way to the front. And I'll tell you what, those last couple laps, the 90 was on the bottom, in the middle, on the top, and doing everything to keep the field at bay. Walk us through how challenging it is to kind of keep everyone behind you, because it looked like you had to block all 3 lanes in order to get the race win tonight.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. I was just trying to get us to the white flag, so I knew it would be over because I wasn't going to make a green-white checkered. Just staying as far front as we were, there was a lot of people who saved fuel, and I don't know what Dylan did right there. I guess he just pulled off thinking it was a checkered, maybe. I have no clue, and when he did that, it killed everybody's momentum. So I kind of could still control a little bit because I think Dawson it was who blocked to the top, and it kind of killed their momentum. But when Dylan moved down, it kind of just shifted all momentum down to the bottom. And then I hooked up with Josh and was kind of just telling him, hey, I'm going to go bottom here. And he just helped me to the end. So a lot of thanks to Josh McCullough on that. And I didn't mean to just leave him out there. The run just was coming on the bottom. And honestly, he should have took that run with Colby. I thought Colby would tell him because he was his teammate, but he didn't. So I had to go down there and block it before Colby just passed us all.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much exactly how it went down. And obviously you kind of up there, on your own there at the end. And it's awesome to see, that, I mean, obviously you got teammates, but it's nice to see a guy be able to hold off teammates there at the front of the pack with really no help at the end. You did mention Dylan Jones. We did hear him as well as another driver or two. Thought it was the last lap. So, yeah, that kind of definitely did play a factor here into that. You don't see that often, especially out of some veterans. So, not quite sure how that ended up happening, but nonetheless, it works out for you here tonight, Daniel. And before we let you go, I know you're heading down to Daytona here this weekend, looking forward to the Daytona 500, but a big win here tonight in high gear racing. Before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you for doing the broadcast and all you do over there at PGR eSports. It was a great event, the PGR 500. I know a lot of people were watching. Hopefully the same people are tuning in. There's a couple of new names that we keep getting in these new races and these other series with these other promotions, and they're coming over because of that, because all the work you did with those recruitment races and everything. So thank you for that. Maybe they'll stick around for a little while, and thank you to HGR for putting this on, Jimmy Crow, James Waring, and everybody else for showing up. It was fun.
Well, we appreciate you racing here, Daniel. Go celebrate that victory here tonight. Thank you. Daniel Eberhardt, everyone, your victor here tonight as he crosses the finish line first. And I know that man right there loves to do that. We'll pull up the final standings here. And first place tonight, obviously here, Daniel Eberhardt with the victory. In second place here tonight, we talked to him. It was, and excuse me, apologies for the screen here. Go back one. Colby Nill in second. Justin Melikar rounds out your podium. Sean Corbett, a great run in the 45, up to fourth. Dawson Wise, usually in the broadcast booth tonight, gets up to fifth. He'll finish in that fifth spot. Josh McCullough, sixth spot here tonight. John Ward up to seventh. Danny Barnes finishes in eighth. Dustin Cohen, ninth. And Freddie Bathenaz rounds out your top 10. In 11th tonight, Mark Von Dell, 12th. Michael Barksdale, Jeff Merck, problems throughout that race, gets on the lead lap, finishes in 13th. Dylan Jones, we heard that miscue there, 14th here tonight. Christopher Carter finishes in 15th. Gordon Spain, a good run for most of the night till the end, finishes in 16th. Kenny McCullough in 17th. Chase Mistretta, a lot of connection issues here tonight, finishes in 18th. In 19th here tonight, Richard Elliott, James Waring finishes in 20th. Steve Sizemore, 21st. Cody Nagels goes out on lap 1. Cody Nagels goes out in lap 1 in the 6th. So an upset there to begin tonight. But nonetheless, a great race. Only 3 caution flags here on a Tuesday night for high gear racing. And tomorrow night, I think we're finally off. Well, actually, no, we are not. We do have the PGR Better Half Dash tomorrow night, so looking forward to that. All the ladies getting on the sim for the annual Better Half Dash, and always the week of Valentine's, and we'll head Thursday night for the Intimidator Super Speedway Series. Quite the break for the MRL 500, the PGR 500. So looking forward to getting that back up and going. Only, I believe, 3 races this year before the couple weeks off. So, man, we appreciate you guys here joining tonight, the PGR eSports Network, to watch this one. It was a good one. For myself here at PGR eSports, Michael Triscaro. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you guys.